Hey everyone, welcome to the Adirondack Valley Central. I have another great update for you guys. Well, it is February 2016, and I believe the last update was in November 2015, so Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everybody had a great holiday. And this is what you see now. This is within a few months' time. I believe the last time I was still working with the rock molds and plastering, and I've been able for the past few months to gather a lot of my stuff from New York, from the Iona subdivision layout, and brought a lot of stuff back and was able to really work on this layout. And I decided I have to stop and do another update before I finish the entire thing. So to refresh everyone's memory on this layout is a 5x9 O-scale layout. Takes place in the Adirondack Mountains in upstate New York. It's based off CSX Mohawk Division. Even though I run trains from all railroads, especially Conrail. Conrail's my favorite railroad. So I'm basically filming and producing this layout from just around the merger time when Conrail was splitting off between CSX and Norfolk Southern. Since I live now in Nashville, I really wanted to represent my home state, which is New York. Even though I'm from the city, I love the country and love the Adirondacks, especially when I worked on the railroad for a couple of years. So I really tried to create that, and fall scene is the best scene to show. And this layout was, even though it takes place most of my living room, I wanted it to look like almost like a furniture as 3D art. A lot of people, will have pictures of everything, but I really wanted to have something that's 3D. And since I'm a railroader and I love trains, other than my career, my love for music as well, decided to incorporate this layout in Nashville, Tennessee, where I'm currently living now. So like always, we'll start in this section of the layout. So this is one of the first sections that I started working on when I first built the layout. The last time you saw an update was the rocks. They weren't fully completed as far as plastering and molds and stuff like that. So now we have scenery. I've colored the rocks with the slate gray and burnt umber. I'll have a video of how I did all that stuff later on. Ground cover from Woodley Scenic Express, some trees from Scenic Express, real roots. For instance, these trees right here are real branches with real roots from weeds, and I used Woodley Scenic's foliage products to make these trees here. These are polyfiber stuff you use for pillows on real branches, or Woodley Scenic's tree armatures. So they're all mixed in here. I'll have more. I like the more realistic trees on the bottom. These polyfiber trees are great. They're great to build stuff in a close area. And so I had bigger trees in the back, smaller trees in the front, just to give it some depth. These pines I already had originally from the old layout. I forgot who makes them, but there's a lot of companies. Some of the Express, some are from some of the smaller companies, but I love them all. And then down here, have just a little channel of water, which I got to finish up here, which is just ground cover right now. I have a little culvert in the end, which I'll get to later on, and some lichen here to fill in. This is finally down with Velcro. So if I ever want to move this layout to another location, if I ever decide to move, everything's movable in this layout, including this piece right here. So it stays in place with the Velcro. Just another quick idea if anybody, decides to move anything around. That's it for this section. Let's go to where the engine shed is. Okay, so here's another section of the rock face. More of the trees. Again, it's not really fully completed yet. Still got a lot more to go. Before I really do some scenery work, I really have to find an idea for a trestle for here, and I can start doing the water and all that stuff later on. So this is probably going to be like the last scene that's going to get done. And you can see here's one of the culverts down here, and another one on the other side. Basically, it's just some drinking straw that you find in any store, or go to McDonald's or Burger King, you know, and just painted it with burnt umber. You know, it's just that simple. Some more pine trees over here, and you can see the trees over here in the section. So it's a nice little rock cut for the train to go through. Nice photogenic spot to photograph the trains on. So after I colored all the rocks, the plastered rocks and rock molds, then I colored with the same paints, slate gray, burnt umber for the rocks down here, which are all foam. Some black is added to it to look like it's been wet from water, because right here going down is going to be a waterfall. Just not the major waterfall. This is another one that I decided later on to build. Some areas still got to get finished. More trees got to be put up and all that stuff. So this is one of those areas it's going to be almost one of the last few things I'm going to be doing. Okay, so here's some of the scenic progress. We're going to start from here. All these buildings have been brought from New York to here in Nashville. I perform in Pennsylvania, so my family is able to come see me, and we fill up the trailer along with all music equipment with a bunch of boxes that have to come for this layout. Thank God the artist I play for is very kind about it, so he's really cool. He understands, he thinks it's a cool thing, so works out for me, you know. So we got the signal tower here. We got this tower from Joanne Junction, from the old Iona subdivision layout. Had a gray roof. It was plain, blah. I just put it together and get a chance to really detail it. So I started painting it to almost look like the New York Central colors. As you can see here, the green staircase, added brown here to make it a little more nice red roof. Red chimney and a nice brown roof. Still a lot more details that got to be done. Basic details is lit up. I have a light in there, some curtains. So there's a lot more work that has to be done to these buildings. I'm trying to detail them as much as I can, and it's just I'm actually enjoying the detail of these buildings. It looks pretty cool. There's the freight depot from the layout as well, and we're going to turn this way here. Okay, there we go, and we have the water spout from the old layout as well. Actually, everything here is from the old layout. The engine shed, which is finally lit up for the first time, was not lit up on my old layout. It's working, and underneath, I'll post pictures later on, but I have an actual pit for mechanics to work on the locomotive inside there. So that's going to be detailed. And back there we have the freight depot. So the Adirondack Valley Central, during the week, they worked that one little freight depot for a couple of cars for the towns up there, some food supplies. They got some reefer cars or anything that they need from the towns. Usually about 2 or 3 cars can fit up in that little siding that I have there. Again, these trees are all from the polyfiber stuff, and some of the tree armatures from Woodland Scenics and branches, real branches. This is one of the most scenic parts that are mostly completed. As you can see here, it's all ballast right here at the bottom. This real rock that I actually got off the ballast. There's a construction company who they finished using this pile of gravel, and they put it next to the Chattanooga subdivision, so I just picked it up and used it. They were completely finished with it, so I was able to use real rock for the layout. And these crossing planks here are actual popsicle sticks that I bought at Walmart for like $2.50 of like a pack of 100. I doubled them up and I just weathered them and dyed them with the burnt umber from Woodland Scenics, and there you go. That's it. Very easy, you know. Nothing here is magic. Everything here is, you know, simple, easy. And all these paints that I use for most of these buildings and the other buildings on the other side were 50 cents each at Walmart. So why spend tons of money? It's easier to spend cheap and still have the same amount of, well, the best of it. You could get great results, you know. And of course, one more thing, added some detail work on this track here. I don't know if it's hard to see, but you can see the grass in the weeds in the center of the track. The freight house kind of blocks that detail work, but that's okay. It's still there, and I'm sure I could get some nice pictures with my new camera. Okay, some little detail stuff that I have been working on are these things here. On the left is the milepost signs. Almost look like tombstones that what New York Central used. When I worked at Adirondack Scenic Railroad, they had tons of these on the for the original main line up through Remsen, New York, and Utica, New York, and going up further north up there. So I want to incorporate those on this layout. And to the right are, I forgot what these things are called, these signs, but I've seen them on my railroad, and they always had sidings, or some obstruction ahead, or like a rock cut or something coming up. And I think these are some kind of warning signs that the New York Central used. So I decided to incorporate these as well onto the layout. This one is for here where the engine shed is and the freight house. And this one's going to be for the station in the town of Joanne. Okay, the first tunnel is very bare. As you can see, there's not much work on the mountain itself. The tunnel here, I'm trying to make it as much greenery or foliage as possible. Not show as much rock as you can see. The rock's almost like a base for all the plants and stuff that I got to plant in there. So anyway, so what I've done as well was add the New York Central, which is perfect because it is on the Adirondack. So the New York Central Hobo Camp from Lionel, that's from my old layout, as well as the beacon here. This is lit up for the first time. I finally got nice little flicker fire here, got that lit up, and you can see the wire coming down. That's going to be painted later on. I want to make sure everything's good, and I stuck everything with paper clips, cut them, bend them, and stick them into the foam itself so it stays. Still got a little more work to do. It's going to be painted gray, so maybe hide it just a little bit, and with all the foliage and stuff like that, little branches and trees, and it will hide a lot more. And we have the little cave here where I may add some critters or maybe campers. I'm not sure yet what I want to do. Some real rocks in there, as well as some real rocks up here from the same pile of gravel, and some of the trees from the polyfiber stuff. So this scene is pretty much finished. I just got to add some tall trees to hide this a little better. And that's it for this section right now. Okay, here's the back side of the mountain, and the second tunnel goes to this section of the layout. This is the waterfall, one of the most famous waterfalls on the Adirondacks. It's like a Native American name, so I really got to study that name and actually say it correctly. But the waterfall is going to go down this way, down this thing right here, into the lake, and eventually the trestle here will be built. This section probably one of the last sections to get done, as far as, I got to measure out the entire trestle and work with that. So here's all the rock work, and it's actually just rocky, believe it or not. So makes it a little more realistic looking. Some stuff over here, and up here is the second part of the mountain, which is just about almost complete, except for some detail work. Like all these trees are made from the polyfiber stuff, real branches, some tree armatures, woodland scenics, and the MTH rotary beacon from the radar antenna. That's original from the original layout in New York. Well, as this building, if people remember my layout, that building was the gift shop for the Iona Railroad Historical Society. Now it's a cabin on the Adirondacks, and someone is living there. They bought the house, they moved it up there, up the mountain. I don't know how the heck they did it, but they did a good job. So it's a nice little scene that I always wanted to recreate, and looks nice and cozy in my opinion. All right, here's another view of the mountain from this angle. We're now on the other side. You can see here, that's a little detailed work with the fences and stuff. Some lichen here and there that I ran out, so I have to buy a lot more. A lot more. So there's some work that has to be done for these mountains to look the way I wanted them to look. So for this section here, this is the town of Joanne. I had a town of Joanne on my old layout. It's a memory from my aunt. She was a big arts and crafts person, and a great country music lover. So I named one section of my old layout for my aunt. So I decided to name this town Joanne. Now, there's a lot of work has to be done. I'm waiting on one more building, the MTH train store building, and once that is in place, which is probably going to go right here, once that's in place, I'll be able to finish up the roads and everything. And as of right now, I started detailing some of the buildings, and again, all these buildings are from the old layout. And if people remember, these buildings were there, but they're a different color. I decided to give these guys a makeover and repainted them. Took the insides out. I may use them as billboards instead, or I'm decided to put full detail inside the bottom of the stores themselves, and gave them some detail work. Some curtains here and there. Not all the windows are open, so when they're lit up, not every window is lit up with a light. Looks more realistic looking. And I'm still debating to get rid of these bases for sidewalks. I might make my own sidewalks for a little more realism. Since one of these buildings doesn't have a sidewalk, I don't understand why MTH did that, but that's what they did. So you gotta live with it or make your own. So I decided to make my own. Here's a 20th Century Diner, which is another reason why I wanted to do the Adirondack. So I have a lot of New York Central stuff. And ironically, the other layout was based in Pennsylvania. Don't ask. But and speaking of Pennsylvania, here's the Pennsylvania tower, the signal bridge, and the tower right here. And again, see, it's from the old layout because it still has the word Ionia on it. And if people remember my old layout, that was a tower in the city of Ionia, along with the station. So I have to change everything to name it Joanne. So, and here's the outlines for the roads. The gazebo may make a little circle thing here. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. Got the crossing gates here from the old layout. I'm able to actually operate this time for once, along with the water tower. Maybe that operate for the first time on this layout. And these are the original crossing gates I got from Max, and the battery operated. So that will maybe add some realism, or maybe repaint them to make it more realistic, like these silver colored ones here. So that really wraps up the update on the progress of the layout. As you can see here, there's been a lot of progress, and forgive me if you're not doing an update earlier, but I'm happy to do it now, and there'll be a lot more in the future, I'm sure. So right now I'm going to show you a couple of new things that I actually bought, and some detailed stuff that I've done in the past couple of months. I bought a couple of things, the train shows and stuff on eBay, so I'll show you that really quickly. Okay, so I bought this off an auction on eBay for a very, very great price, and I absolutely love this passenger car. This is actually my very first passenger car that I ever purchased, an O scale, and I think I made out like a bandit on this one. This is one of the original old heavyweight K-line passenger cars. Has a silhouette people in it. Still debating to open it up and put real people in it, which I may do later on. Not sure just yet, but the Sarah Bernhardt New York Central car, Madison coach, is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Lights up beautifully, runs great. Makes the curves with the double stack cars that I have. So this is going to be part of the tourist train. And if I later on get by a New York Central set or Amtrak set, I'll add that as well as a private car. So it'll look pretty cool. Okay, the next two purchases were these two cabooses. One was the Santa Fe caboose. One was originally Burlington Northern caboose. They were Atlas O, the old Atlas O, with the scale couplers, plastic couplers, plastic wheels, plastic trucks. I decided to redo these. Since I don't have any Santa Fe and and Burlington Northern, that's the West Coast. As for the East Coast, one, since I have CSX caboose and two Conrail cabooses, I decided that with the red one here with the black roof, that's going to be Norfolk Southern caboose, and this green one here is going to be Adirondack Valley Central caboose. So I bought myself on Amazon a really nice airbrush kit, and so these things are about ready to be painted. I'm going to practice first on a couple of other cars, and then I'll get to these and eventually decal them and buy metal trucks, and from there I'll actually have 2 new cabooses for the collection until I think I'll have 5 cabooses or caboose, whatever you want to say. Okay, another purchase. Actually, this is a gift I received for Christmas. This is pre-war gondola, Lionel. I'm trying to find out more information on this car. And I definitely know it's definitely pre-war. I've been loving tinplate more and more and more. Still debating on getting a tinplate O-gauge set. Not a standard gauge, just an O-gauge set I can run on the layout. Decided that I may go for more a standard New York Central set instead. But I'm starting to collect more and more Lionel or tinplate trains, and I like to collect I'm going to try to collect a piece every couple of months. You know, I love those old school trains. I love old stuff like that. And speaking of old, I got something else that you guys will like. So I was performing in Oklahoma, and there was a nice antique shop down the road from one of the hotels we were staying at. We were playing, I believe it was Fort Gibson, Oklahoma, near Muskogee. So I think we were staying in the Muskogee area. I do have the card of where this place is, and they have lots of railroad memorabilia, a lot of railroad timetables. They have a lot of Union Pacific. I believe that Erie Railroad, Delaware and Lackawanna, Southern Pacific. I think they even had a old Santa Fe one as well. So I picked up the Union Pacific times table, North Platte, Nebraska, Oakley, Kansas, and Plainville branch, the Mountain Time area, North Platte, Nebraska. So this is one of the more famous, well-known main lines. So I decided to pick up this thing. I only got it for $7. You know, it's pretty cool. I like it. You know, plus being, you know, I was a railroader myself at one time, so I understand what everything is. This is so far one of my pride and joys. This is the map of the United States of the entire New York Central system from 1957 or 55. I forgot what year it is, but I'll open up just a little bit. As you can see here is the New York Central. And there's up at New York State. And that line to the right, that's what my railroad runs on the Adirondack Scenic Railroad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Walmart, buy myself a nice frame. I'm going to open up the entire map and frame it, and that's going to be the center of the wall behind the layout. It's going to be the New York Central system. So I think I was always looking to find just photos of trains and stuff like that for the layout and for my living room, but I think that's the best deal I could do, is have this whole map of the New York Central system behind a layout based on the New York Centrals on the Adirondack. So I think that's a pretty cool idea, and it was a nice find. Okay, that wraps up this update in February 2016. I got a lot more progress done this time around since the last update, and I continue to do more on it, and I just want to thank everybody for their support, especially everybody on Facebook, on the fan page. I mean, I think I'm almost 500 likes or something like that, and man, I haven't been keeping track, but I just love people liking the layout so much, and you know, it's kind of I don't want to say intimidating rather, but kind of nervousness in a way, because I want to get some progress done, and haven't been on it in a few weeks. So once I get this up, I'll be happy, and especially people on YouTube. I always get more views of my model train videos than my actual train videos, and I always put more train videos on. So check that out as well. Do a lot of rail fanning around the Nashville area when I'm off tour. So yeah, this is fun. I enjoy it. Being off the road and after practicing for hours on end to come here like 10 o'clock at night, coming from downtown Nashville, either performing, hanging out with my music buddies, working on this thing. So it keeps me busy and keeps my mind working and my imagination working, which is great. So happy railroading, everybody. Hope everyone does well in their layouts, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys later for the next update.